Yo guys, what's going on? Ace is here today with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to do more of an advanced mechanic here today that is going to help you a lot in PvP, especially some of your more advanced PvP. So this is going to be going off of one of the other mechanic videos we did, and that is how to Blindfire. It was basically the beginner's tutorial to it, and I told you in that video I would then create another video, which is this video, on how to Blindfire while moving and how to use that to your advantage to bait out players into shooting at you and revealing their position. So before we get into it, make sure you leave a like on this video here today, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are brand new around here for money guides and tips and tricks. Let's hop into it. So the first thing we're going to be doing is going to our settings, and we have to change a hotkey. That is the first thing we have to do. So in our controls, you can see there is a lot of them, all right? There is actually a ton of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to go the whole way down to... We're going to be looking right here at right side Blindfire. It actually took me a little bit to find it, but just look for walk, which is pretty easy one to spot, and it's going to be 2 below it. Now, you can change your overhead as well. I personally do not. Typically, if I'm going to overhead Blindfire, I'm typically in a cover, and I really won't need to move while doing that. That's kind of just basically a giant flex on somebody if you kill them that way while moving on your overhead Blindfire. I see Landmark do it a lot. It's actually hilarious, but it's one that I've never needed to change for myself. The right side Blindfire, you want to go to your left alt. Alright, so as for the hotkey, we want to keep left alt. The reason left alt is really important, it's so your fingers can still be on WASD and you can still move around while holding alt at the same time. And that way you can still aim and everything while you're using your mouse, obviously. And the next one is going to be combining that with one of your mouse buttons. So if you do not have a mouse that has additional buttons on it, mine are right by my thumb. I have 2 buttons. Some mice have, 4 buttons. Some have even more. I think I've seen a mouse that has like 6 or 8 buttons. It's absolutely crazy. But find one you're really comfortable with. Kind of get that feel down using left alt and then kind of holding like W, for example. And then while holding one of your mouse buttons, figure out which one feels okay and then go with that one. So that is your first step, changing the right side Blindfire to left alt plus a mouse button. Next, we're going to build ourselves a weapon that has a flashlight on it. The reason this is important is so you can bait people while you're blind firing corners. You're not actually going to be firing at them, but you're going to be blind peeking them. And that's one thing about this mechanic that does make it a bit more advanced, is because, typically you would associate yourself with a blind fire actually firing your weapon, but it's more of just like an around the corner lean that you're going to use to bait somebody. So let me get a weapon on really quick with a flashlight, and then we'll head into raid. Alright guys, so we just got into raid, and what it's going to look like while you are doing the lean or the blind fire, quote unquote, while actually moving is going to look something like this. So I'm going to hit alt, I'm going to hit my mouse button, and here's your lean. But you can see I can aim fine, but now I'm going to move. And you can see you can actually just kind of traverse the map in this, really odd angle, and it gives you this point of aim that you've never probably had before in some situations while actually walking around. So where this really comes into play is around doorways and hallways. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head to the top office, and I'm going to show you in one case, just, there's plenty of situations this could happen in where you could use this in, but we're going to head up to the top office, and I'm going to show you a really good way to use it. Alright guys, we are top office right now on the 3rd floor. We're on gate 0 side of the map, and I want to point out really quick that there is no way to put your weapon on your left shoulder. Therefore, you can only do this mechanic looking this way. You can only look to the left. You cannot do it on the right side yet, but it might be added in the future. I assume it will be, but I did want to point that out here, that we can only do this on this side of top office. So what a normal shoulder peek up here looks like is something like this. I'm sure you've seen it all the time, where somebody just goes like this, and they're peeking. They're getting that information, they're getting that knowledge, but you don't even have to look around the corner, and that is the biggest part about this. So if somebody is on the other end of this hallway, and they're holding this angle, they're holding it, they're aiming down sight right here at this filing cabinet, all you have to do is take about a 45-degree angle to the corner you're about to come around, hold alt, do your blind fire, get it ready, turn your flashlight on, and you can wait to the last second to do this as well. But what you're going to do is kind of aim that up, and you're going to strafe like this. Now, that filing cabinet's actually fucking us a little bit, but you basically just want to kind of go like this, and you can see that I'm not fully going around the corner. And the worst that's going to happen, if you're actually being careful, like for me, I'm just showing you the example. So I would not be peeking out that much when it comes to kind of doing this. Like, I'd be like kind of right here. right here is super solid. You know, if you're holding this angle and you go like that, and let's say, you know, you're just standing like this, you're just in a lean, and you might hear somebody do a quick lean like that, what that's going to do is it's going to look like you are looking like this when they see that. So this is what they are going to see or think they see. They're just going to see this flashlight coming down at them, and they're not going to see your character model at all. But in reality, you are going to be around this corner at like a 30-degree less of a exposed angle. And when you're going like this, they're going to see the exact same thing as if you were just aiming down sight with your flashlight on. And they're going to think that you're aiming at them right now. And what they're going to do is they're going to fire their weapon. And the reason this is important is because let's say you didn't peek this corner yet. Let's say you're like this, you're set up, quick peek like that, and you hear a gunshot. You know, you hear a bullet ping off the wall behind you. Right away, that gives you the information that somebody is holding this angle right here. And you might have died if you would have just shoulder peeked it once. I mean, if they have quick reaction times, one bullet, that's all it takes. So you starting to adopt this mechanic where you are kind of, you know, peeking like this really quickly, it is a game changer. It might not sound like it, but once you start to incorporate this into your gameplay, it makes a huge difference once you start to actually use it. You might not think it does now. I guarantee you, use it a little bit. It's especially good on dorms, on custom. So this is just the example spot that I picked. The filing cabinet, being the height that it is actually kind of a bad example because I have to aim up a little bit. But if you're aiming at normal hipfire height, that was a tough one, it's going to trick even more people. So this is one of those advanced tips, man, that really does make a big difference in PvP. And it really does win you more gunfights than you might think. So if this helped you out at all, or if you already knew about this and you have any other tips for any of the other players who are trying to level up their PvP skills, leave them in the comments below. As always, make sure you leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. That's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm out.